There was once a time when every rural community had its own crafts. The skill of the blacksmith, who largely supported agriculture, was one of the most common. But rope making was equally important. 150 years ago, the small towns of rural northern England often supported as many as 4 or 5 rope-making businesses. And as if to prove the point, street names were often taken from rope-making terms. For hundreds of years, rope has been an essential part of commerce and trade. Since the beginning of maritime activity in ancient times, ropes have been vital for the operation of ships. Sailors and fishermen relied heavily on the ropemaker's craft. And in rural areas, farmers found the rope no less important. Before the advent of tractors, hay creels made from rope, like this one in the Yorkshire Dales Countryside Museum, were used in the Hawes area to transport hay to sheep on the fells. Today, ropes are often made by a continuous process using machines. But here at the Hawes Rope Works of W.R. Outhwaite and Son, the traditional methods are still in use. Indeed, the beginnings of the company can be traced back nearly 200 years. In 1922, the business was established on the present site. This had the advantage of being on the route between the railway station and the auction mart. The traditional method of rope making hasn't changed in centuries. Yarn is run from 2, 3 or 4 hooks, known as crooks, on the twisting machine, to a single hook on the sledge. The distance between twisting machine and sledge will determine the length of the rope. A grooved wooden top is used to keep the strands of yarn apart during twisting. As the twist is put in, the strands become shorter and the sledge is pulled forward. To lay the rope, the top is moved forward and a temporary tie is put round the rope at the crook end to prevent the rope from unraveling. Back twist is now put into the rope by turning a handle on the sledge. This balances the rope and stops it snarling. The ropes are now stored in batches of 50, ready for the finishing process. This is done by hand and requires considerable dexterity to manipulate the rope quickly and neatly through the knotting and splicing procedures. A special tool called a fid is used to part the strands of rope without causing damage. In the past, natural fibers such as flax, hemp and cotton were used exclusively. But today, man-made fibers with properties of durability, water resistance and strength are excellent for hard outdoor applications. Much longer and larger ropes are also made by this traditional method. Ropes as long as 25 meters can be produced on the indoor rope walk. But for longer ropes, the process can be extended outdoors, just as in the past. This traditionally made rope still has many agricultural uses, is favored for church bell ropes, and has many leisure applications. Although the age-old techniques of rope making are preserved at Hawes, this is not a museum. Modern continuous process machines are used to produce braids for a wide variety of applications. Today, synthetic fibers are often used, but these can be very lean and straight. So this bulker puts waviness into the fibers to make sure that the braid will be soft to the touch. Winding machines are used to wind the yarn onto the bobbins used on the braiding machines. The machines used for producing the plaited cord are called maypole braiders. Cord of various thicknesses can be made for use as light pulls, carrier bag handles and anorak draw cords. Even shoelaces can be manufactured on these machines. Indeed, they were used recently to produce 300,000 meters of shoelace, enough to complete almost 250,000 pairs of shoes. Once the only source of domestic lighting, the candle today is now largely used for decorative purposes. The Hawes rope makers are now a major supplier of candle wicks, which are made on braiding machines. To produce a more consistent flame, the wicks are saturated with various chemicals on a finishing machine developed by the rope works. This is a different type of braiding machine called a knit braider. The end product has a variety of applications, from clotheslines to dog leads. Indeed, Hawes rope makers produce finished products from their ropes, dog leads being a particularly popular item. Making completed banister ropes requires dexterity and skill in forming the knots. The production of church bell ropes is another interesting process. The bell rope is finished by trimming the excess wool to form a comfortable handle called a sally. The Ropeworks is now a major tourist attraction, and in the well-stocked shop, visitors can buy rope-based products made on the premises. But with over 150 years of unbroken production, the Hawes Ropeworks of W.R. Outhwaite & Son is still very much an active commercial enterprise, fulfilling the growing demand for rope products. And the ever-increasing range is now exported to over 20 countries worldwide. The business continues to go from strength to strength through the efforts of the present owners, Ruth and Peter Annison, and their staff. Since acquiring the Ropeworks from the Outhwaite family in 1975, the Annisons have nurtured the company, and it now employs 22 local people, as well as attracting 100,000 visitors to Hawes and Upper Wensleydale. Indeed, this area of the Yorkshire Dales is one of the most beautiful areas in Britain, and a fine setting for the Ropemakers tradition.